Interlude 5. For the first few months of my high school career, I floated through life I was going to say alphabetically, apathetically, without any real sense of direction. At the insistence of my teachers and upperclassmen, I did join the swim team, but I was basically running on fumes at that point, and I didn't achieve any standout records like I had in junior high. I had a hard time being mentally present during class too, so I'd often get scolded by my teachers for spacing out. Without Kanai there to greet me in the morning, going to school was empty and meaningless. There was a gaping hole in my heart through which I could feel his absence each and every day, like an icy wind. If I could only see him again, or even just hear his voice over the phone, or get a text from him, then maybe, well, it wouldn't fill the void, but maybe it would at least calm that wind for a while. Too bad. He never got in contact with me. Deserved. I'm kidding. I can't. I feel bad now. Because I mentioned about physical abuse last chapter, so I feel bad now. At first, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, assuming he probably just needed some time to adjust to his new environment. Then 1 month became 2, and still I had not heard a word from him. So of course I started to get worried. There were multiple times when I told myself I should reach out to him myself, but I could never bring myself to hit that call button or send that text message. Why not? We're just friends, don't get the wrong idea. I couldn't get Kanai's words from that fateful day in junior high out of my head. I knew he was trying to get that other girl to lay off me, but his words still coiled their way through my heart like a serpent that refused to let go. Every time I thought about trying to get in contact with Kanai, that one little remark would tear its ugly head, bare its fangs, and bite down. Its paralyzing venom would course throughout my entire body, rendering me unable to do a thing. So I never did. Instead, I staggered through day after day of monotony, constantly teetering back and forth between anxiety and resignation. The only way I could even tell that time was still passing was by the ever-increasing number of drafts in my unsent messages folder. Bozos, the both of them? Come on, Wonder, they're just kids. Then one night, in the summer of my freshman year, my life reached a turning point. For whatever reason, I felt compelled to go out for a run that evening. Maybe I hoped it would distract my brain from the feelings of emptiness and isolation. Or maybe it was just I had an overabundance of energy I needed to expel since we didn't have practice that day. There were any number of possible explanations. All I knew was that I felt a burning desire to go out and run. And so I did. About an hour in, I'd run half the circumference of the island, leaving my whole body drenched in sweat. I needed a break to catch my breath, so I sat down on the seawall and let the cool night breeze blowing in from the open ocean bring my body temperature back down. Across the sea, I could see the dazzling lights of the mainland glowing like fireflies, and a sudden impulse struck me. That's where I need to be, over there. It felt like a flame had been ignited inside my chest. My body was burning up all over again, and I couldn't bear to sit still a moment longer. I sprinted as fast as I could all the way back home, and as soon as I got there, I started looking up information on moving to Tokyo. After school the next day, I asked my homeroom teacher point blank, what do I need to do to get into the U of I? It felt like my only remaining option at this point. Since Kane was already going to the university's official feeder school, his college choice was pretty much set in stone. And if I could graduate with high enough marks to get accepted to the same university, he and I could be together again at last. Hence why I was asking my teacher about it, even though I knew I was vastly underestimating how hard that would be. I couldn't fight this new urge inside me, and I didn't want to fight it either. I knew if I didn't start making moves right now, there was a very good chance I'd never see Kanai ever again. Wool sleeves? Yeah, summer's over. It is cold today. My hands are like actually pretty cold. She is down horrendous, but you know, they're just kids. I did not get this feeling from her when we interacted with her, when Kanai interacted with Akadi. It was Akadi, right? In the present time. Granted, she probably just murdered her brother, so imagine being cold with you. I sent you something? Oh my gosh. During a reading stream? Oh, I'm reading that. Killer Pedro is so weird. When I'm so used to, or no, not Pedro. Killer Peter feels like such a weird name after Killer Pietro. Probably because I don't know the language, I'm not used to it, so it sounds cooler. And I just think of Killer Peter like Peter Griffin. No, but I love that manhwa, Ishura. Because it was from Kanai's perspective. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, what did Akadi say to Kanai when they were at the school towards the end? Please still love me? Is that what she said? Don't hate me? Oh, I think it is don't hate me. That seems about right. Oh gosh, I don't know. Is this dude Russian or I'm pretty sure it's Korean, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't remember, it's been so long. Ah, actually, it's gonna take me forever to find us. It's definitely here. Please don't ever hate me. Yeah, you're right. Dang, I wonder, why are you always right? Please, Ishra, don't stunlock me during a reading stream. Alright, so... I'll be honest, you may want to lower your sights a little bit, based on your current grades, and even if you did manage to test in, that's still a very expensive school, you know? Have you talked with your mother about this at all? My teacher asked. The response was about as unfavorable as I'd anticipated, but I refused to give in. Why is Big Dumb? Big Dumb was auto-modded. Bad bot? Ooh, that's crazy. You just made Sarah cry. I can't say in chat. Ha ha ha. Knee slapper. That was very funny. Are you sure? I'm kidding. I'm very bad with lewd humor. I can't do lewd humor. Or dirty jokes, I guess. Like, man, I'm like the occasional yeah. I might do. Like down bad jokes are like, you know, that's not too bad, but like these kind of jokes are a bit much for me. It's funnier though. I mean, humor is subjective. Oh, that makes sense, Ichiro, yeah. Secret memes. I can't say it. I can't. They even deleted it. You're better off not knowing Wonder. It was horrible. No, I'm kidding. I'm just not a fan of those kind of jokes. But thanks for sharing though. Yeah, you said you wander. No, but I will, I declared. Listen, I know this really isn't any of my business, but I don't think you fully grasp the financial burden you'd be placing on her. Your mother is a very hard worker, but I just don't think a private school like that is in the cards for you. If you really have the drive to study hard and want to get into a good college, there are plenty of responsible, reputable, public universities that are a lot closer. Sorry, but my mind's made up. I want to go to the U of I asserted firmly. What were we staring at? Do you want another dirty joke too? Okay, my teacher said after a moment's hesitation, not without sympathy. If you're that dead set on this, then I'll try to help you out. Though all I can really offer is advice. I was then given the basic rundown on what I had to do in order to make my college dreams a reality. I paid close attention to every word, and by the end, I had a pretty good idea of what my action plan needed to include. It was pretty simple, actually. Everything boiled down to three things: my academics, my extracurriculars, I hate that word so long, and my personal finances. The academics part went without saying. If I couldn't actually get accepted, then the rest would all be in vain. My teacher told me that I should also aim to earn some major accolades, hopefully that was right, during my high school swimming career, because universities took things like that into consideration as well. Such achievements might even help me earn financial aid of some sort. So, even if I miraculously scored a full ride scholarship to cover my tuition costs, that wouldn't cover my moving costs, nor my everyday living expenses. So I determined that I need to start working part-time as soon as I could. It would be a long and arduous road. Arduous road? To be sure. But now that I at least knew what I needed to do to get there, I was starting to feel a lot more optimistic. I thanked my teacher for the advice and walked out of the classroom. If I manage... I was expecting a text with me. Classic. I thanked my teacher for the advice and walked out of the classroom. If I managed to outswim the heck out of everyone else on the team, then it would be a piece of cake for me to get an athletic endorsement, and maybe even a scholarship. Thank goodness I'd stuck with one sport for so long. True, I've been sort of slacking off on it ever since I got to Sotoshima High, but from this point on, I need to give it my all. What this girl wants to my teacher wants. There's a free tax service nearby where we can where they do your taxes for you basically. Now I just do it myself online. But this was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was really worried about the $40 I got from Twitch or something. So I went there, and I had to explain what Twitch was to them. And what a live stream is. Snitch on yourself? Well, my username wasn't there, so... I don't think it was. I don't remember it being. Probably the tax man. That was so true. See any more people around these parts? You're right. When I got home after practice that day, I found my brother watching TV on the living room couch with his feet up on the table. I knew Mom had asked him to stop doing that. I chose not to engage and simply walked right past him toward the bathroom. Then he called out to me, stopping me dead in my tracks. Are you drinking enough water? I think I am. Why? Hey. Go buy me a soda real quick, he ordered. Oh no. Indeed. His voice was monotone. He didn't even make eye contact with me, mind you. My brother had always bossed me around, even back when we were little, but he'd only grown more and more demanding since his shoulder injury. It used to be relatively small things like fetch me the remote or go run some bathwater for me. But lately, he'd begun treating me like I was his personal maid, telling me to go get dinner ready or iron his laundry and stuff like that. To be clear, I definitely sympathize with what he must have been going through after having to quit baseball, but I also deeply resented him for what a loathsome person he'd become. Basically, all he'd done since graduating from high school was sit around on the couch and watch TV all day. Or go out and do who knows what with his deadbeat friends, only coming home when he felt like it. He's obviously, you are sick, Wonder. Reducing Akali to an LTG mod. He showed no interest in getting a job or going to college, and yet had a gal to turn around and ask our mom for cash at every opportunity. As far as I was concerned, he didn't have a respectable molecule, let alone bone, in his body. Oh, it's fetch me the remote. Cheese puffs? Ooh, disgusting. Strawberry milk? I still haven't tried strawberry milk. Hey, you deaf or something? He barked, glaring at me impatiently. Usually, this was a point where I would back down and begrudgingly do as he said, but that wasn't going to fly from now on. Not when I needed to study as much as I possibly could at home to make my dreams of moving to Tokyo a reality. If I kept doing every little menial task, my brother demanded of me, I'd be wasting tons of valuable time. It was time to lay down the law, I decided. So I tried to tell him no in a way that wouldn't set him off. Sorry, no can do. I've got a lot of homework I need to do tonight, I explained. Okay. Violence is never the answer. But you're crazy. Are you saying that to me or the brother? You're saying that to me? Just for not liking cheese puffs? Isn't that a bit excessive? His eyes shot wide open. Then he grabbed the remote control on the coffee table and threw it right at my head without any hesitation. I shrieked as it crashed against the wall mere inches from my face, sending the battery cover flying through the air. Metaphorically, of course? I don't know about that, Wonder. Do as I said, you little brat. Don't think you're hot stuff just because you're the fastest doggy paddler in the kiddie pool, he spat. Then grabbed his drinking glass and threatened to throw that as well. I whipped both hands over my head as a defensive reflex. Wait, this is actually really sad. Alright, geez. I'll go buy your stupid soda, I said, practically running back through the living room. Without even a chance to change out my school uniform, I scuttled out of the apartment. Metaphorically. My entire body was shaking. I never would have expected him to actually start throwing things at me for refusing to be his errand girl. He never done anything like that to me before. The brother I'd come to loathe was beginning to actively terrify me. I made my slow way down the steps toward the nearest vending machine as tears of dread and despair welled up in the corners of my eyes. Crisp? Yo, me and Wonder are American. So you saying calling it crisp is abhorrent. I'm kidding. I don't know. Fritos? I love Fritos. But I love Pringles not because of its taste, because of how much value you get from Pringles from the can. It's so much, you get so much chip per dollar, I guess, from a Pringles can than a bag. But taste, I love Fritos. I don't know why. Corn chips, I don't know why they're so good to me. Pringles and Lay's? For sure. Like in taste. Company, I'm not sure. But yeah, Lay's are potato chips, and Pringles, they like grind up the chips or the potatoes and then form that shape, the Pringle shape. So it has a different taste than actual potato chips because of how they grind it. They grind it to dust and shape it into that form. But I'm not. They have a term for it, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. Yeah, they're not, and yeah, that's why they're not legally classified as potato chips, because they grind them up and like put them into that shape. I don't know what the term is called though. I forgot. But no, for me it's Fritos probably. They're super good. What's it called? Are they actually called potato chips? Oh, that's crazy. That's wild. That's asinine. Where were we? The next morning, I told my mom that I wanted to go to college in the big city. I explained that I knew our finances were tight, but I assured her she wouldn't have anything to worry about, because I'd handle my tuition costs either through scholarships or student loans. I told her I planned to get a part-time job in the near future, too, to cover the cost of living on my own. She gave me her seal of approval and said she'd see if she could get me a job at a local traditional style inn, as she knew paid a fairly decent hourly wage. Her eyes were full of shame as she apologized for not being able to offer more assistance than that. I told her it was more than enough. I want to try Ruffles. Y'all know the chips Ruffles? I want to try Ruffles. They look so tasty, but I haven't. But I just want a small bag to try. I don't want a big bag to try, but they don't sell the original flavor in smaller bags, so I just never tried it. Cheese curl sounds disgusting. Now that I decided what college to aim for, I had an excuse to contact Kanai at last. With butterflies in my chest, I giddily drafted up a long-winded message to break the news to him. But in the end, I didn't send it. Cheese curls? Ugh. My better judgment told me it might seem a little creepy and overbearing to say I was already planning to go to the same college as him when we weren't even halfway through our freshman year. I decided to hold off until the spring of our senior year, a much more natural time for people to have settled on what their ideal higher education path would be. Whether Kanai knew it or not, though, I had just taken my first step towards moving to Tokyo. A V-cut? The following year and a half, leading up to the present day, were easily the most grueling months of my entire life. As the summer of my freshman year drew to a close and autumn set in for good, everything started to blur. My only real memories from that time were of being completely and utterly exhausted from the cycle of work, study, swim, day in and day out. I couldn't afford to slack off on any of these three pillars of my life either, so it was my sleep schedule that took the hit. I started nodding off in the middle of class as a result, often missing a lot of important lecture material. I did okay in the morning, but after lunch it was a struggle to stay awake long enough to copy down notes from the blackboard. I persisted anyway, fighting desperately against the urge to sleep so it wouldn't affect my grades. Sheesh. I would search these up, but there's a reading stream, so I would have to turn and... Would it have been better or worse for to tell Kanai about that? Honestly, I find this relatable, because I try to not tell people stuff early when I'm not sure if I'm committed yet. Because I know a lot of people are like, hey, y'all, we should plan this trip and go to like Japan or go to whatever together. It'll be so fun. And they bring that up like, you know, like so early on, and no, and then they're not even sure they're committed, and like, yeah, that'll be cool. They spend one day planning, and then they just don't bring it up again, or they're like, I don't know. That's a bit different though. For me, it's kind of similar. Like bringing up like the idea of like that they want to do something so early on, but then they just end up losing motivation later. Things like that. I hate that. So I try not to say stuff too early. But I still do. I still do it sometimes. So, would it be better to tell them early? I don't know. I think it would be tough. Cause you know, cause then it shows, you know, they might be interested in them or whatever. And I don't know. Well, I said no, yeah, but also, you know, they're away now, and you still like them, so you want to, like, you know, still get closer to them and stuff. And if they're not even messaging each other like daily or weekly, and I don't know, like, they have to start like a long distance relationship somehow, not romantically, but like as friends, a long distance friendship somehow. And they haven't even started on it, so. Yeah, I've been to New York. Oh no, we're just talking about the book. You wouldn't understand Ichira unless you pay attention for the past 250 pages. I'm kidding. Just that the bozo went to NYC or just New York? Like, do you mean? Did you go? Wait. Do you mean? Wait. Somehow my mind is exploding right now. Cause. Okay, do you mean the rest of New York or just NYC? That's what you meant. Okay. Huh. I mean, definitely in New York City, but yeah, mainly just New York City. I don't even know where else we went. Went in New York. We did like get out of the city, but that was two different states. We visited, like, was it Stanford that we visited? And we visited MIT. There's a New York, also NYC, yeah. Is that Philippine exclusive? I wonder. I never heard of it. Anyways. When the school day was over, I could finally allow my brain some rest. It wasn't much of a... I swear, I said reprieve one time, and I swear someone said it wasn't right. But reprieve sounds so weird. Wait, no, that might just be the one with one less E. You know what, I'm locking in my answer. It wasn't much of a reprieve, admittedly, because I had to run straight from the classroom. Reprieve is my final answer, wonder. Down to swim practice. The format hadn't changed much since my time in junior high. Good. Whew, okay. We still swam in the school's outdoor pool during the summer and did physical training during the colder months. with 1 day a week set aside to swim at an indoor pool over on the mainland. The only thing that had changed was the difficulty. Our new swim coach was a real disciplinarian and would work us to the bone each and every day. There was never a single day when I didn't walk out of practice feeling like a crushed bag of chips. What's your favorite city that you visited? I don't know, Toronto, Canada. Granted, we probably visited, to be fair, we visited like a pretty fancy suburb. Or neighborhood where our cousins lived. It was just so peaceful and nice. There was the biggest park and no one was there. It was so chill. I was gonna say, I was like, huh, they mentioned chips. Wow, what a coincidence. Or what a coinky doinky. I'm sorry, I won't say that again. Actually, I kind of want to add that to my daily vernacular. Sometimes I think about the fact that if I ever do something with a wife and she asks me what my favorite memory was, I feel like I'd get divorced and I don't think my answer will have her in it. Why not? Why don't you think your answer will have her in it? Okay, Isha, never mind. You make me sick. Your crash is coming out when you say coinky doinky, coinky dink, coinky doink. Oh god, I need to stop. Whoa! Quiet neighborhoods are so nice. Yeah. It was hilarious. Oh no. I mean, I don't know how it feels like to be confessed. But when I did crush on someone, like the feeling of your heart beating and going crazy, and the idea of confessing is it's so exhilarating. And I could only just imagine how much more significant it'd be when you confess and it gets accepted. I don't know. Do people know you're being ironic, or do they think this is the real you? Wait, what do you mean? Like me going coinky doink? Is that what you're referring to? What do you mean by me being ironic? Oh, so rewards. Yeah, that. I don't think I'm being. I mean, I was like, whoa. Yeah, I like being silly. I think. I would say this is the real me. I mean, every me is the real me. If I decide to fake it, it's still the real me faking it around you. I don't know if that makes sense. But what do you mean by they? I think how I act on stream is pretty genuine. Not like to myself. Like I feel like the voices. I don't make those voices IRL. I make those voices in call. I mean, if I meet like Fade, Woeful, whatever IRL, I might make those voices. I don't really think about the real me, because you're different towards every single person, right? Like I don't act towards you like how I act towards my mom. I don't act towards my coworkers like I act towards my best friends. Does that mean I'm faking it towards my best friends? Am I faking it towards my parents? I don't think so. I think they're all just parts of me. I'll probably be boring. I mean, same wonder. Like, if y'all don't have gacha games to talk about, I got nothing. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm like walking on eggshells, that I'm trying my best to fake or put on an act in front of my parents. No. I feel like I'm being how I want to be, with my parents. So I think that's the real me, and how I'm towards y'all is also the real me. As like a spirit, ooh, if you are a spirit, no one can ever see your whole self. Oh, that's poetic. Sure, Itra, sure. Crazy how that's never gonna happen. Did we read this one? No, we didn't. Even after that, I still had to go to work at my part-time job. I had to bring every last drop of energy from my limbs like a ratty old dish rag to keep smiling as I greeted and served the inn's guests. Oh god, it's already 4. We only read like 10. Did we actually only read like we only read like 10. We only read like, oh god. Work up. Hey, can I visit the set? Wait. When did Kanai visit an inn? I don't remember. It was so an unfamiliar working environment on me despite my efforts, and since I was always at the height of my physical and mental exhaustion by that point of the day, I slipped up on a job more times than I cared to admit. You know, somewhere? Shoot, I don't remember. Sometimes I would get lectured by my older part-time co-workers, and other times I'd even get yelled at by angry guests on some sort of customer's always right power trip. On nights like that, I would lock myself up in the bathroom for a while and have a good, long cry where no one could hear. Use Control F on the book, there's no way. Yo, there's a manhwa. It's so weird. Like the main character has like copy and paste abilities, but it's literally called Control C or Control V ability or whatever. And then like there's other ability users that have like Control F, Control W, Control X, like what? Control Z. It's pretty silly. I mean, it's cool how they use abilities, but it's pretty silly. Typically, I'd be so utterly exhausted by the time I got off work that I could fall asleep standing up. And yet, even then, I have bought 5 new books on fish. Ooh. And yet, even then, my day wasn't quite over. I had to go home and study on my own time to prepare myself for the university entrance exams. As soon as I made it home, I grabbed a bite to eat, took a quick bath, and then tried to hit the books for at least 2 hours each night. That's pretty funny. You sure? You got me there. Though I don't think they will. I think they only have control abilities. Or at least so far, there's only like 20 chapters. And then try to hit, supplementary studying was essentially mandatory for me, as the core Sotoshima High curriculum was not nearly adequate to get into a prestigious school all on its own. After those 2 hours were over, I summoned up my final ounce of remaining energy to hobble across the room and crawl into bed, where I immediately passed out. If the next morning was a school day, I would do it all over again. And if it was a weekend, I'd either go straight to work or do swim practice. I never gave myself any days off. Oof. I'm gonna go working his... Sorry to be Mariel, because if she exists, that means I don't know about her. Yeah, I can imagine, like, probably there's been more than one person that crushed on y'all. And they just don't know it. And you'll never know. Because it's a misconnection. You'd think I might get used to this rigorous schedule after a while, but no. Every new day was like a fresh hell. I carried on living like this even so, never giving myself any time to second guess my decision to mope about how awful I had it. My mind and body were both equally worn out. Never in a million years would I have thought that could possibly get even worse. Take my kidneys. I remember having a dream one time. In this dream, I walked to school, made my way up to the classroom, and Kanai was there. I saw Ashima High. "Hey, Akari, how's it going?" he said. "Kanai-kun? What are you doing back in Sotoshima?" I asked in disbelief, as I slowly made my way over to his desk. "Oh yeah, the high school was going to shut down, actually, so I decided to come back here." "Well, wow, that's crazy," I said. Then all the strength drained from my body at once. I collapsed to my knees right then and there, in the middle of my classroom. Please slow down that. "You won't have to push yourself so hard anymore, Akari," he said, reaching down to help me out. "We can just take things slowly. Take things slow and enjoy ourselves like old times." "Yeah, I'm like that," I said, taking his hands and letting him pull me back up to my feet. Then we went up to the roof of the school and ate lunch together. I was so happy, so relieved, and so excited that I couldn't stop talking. Kanai sat there with a smile on his face, listening to every word. "Wonder this is a dream. She's in a genjutsu." "Akari," he interrupted at one point, staring deep into my eyes as he brought his face in close to mine. I froze up like shoot, I don't remember this word. I don't remember how to pronounce this. Porcelain. It's porcelain. That's crazy, Ishra. Porcelain doll, too astonished to move an inch. He brushed his hand gently against my cheek and then pulled it away again. "You got a little bit of rice on your face," he said. "Oh, is that all? Sheesh. Tell me that before you start coming in hot next time." You can't prove that. Wonder you're also the Lulu like her. I teased, laughing it off. The laughter quickly segued into tears, because I knew by that point that was all just a dream. That sooner or later, I was going to have to open my eyes and face another day of my waking nightmare. And yet, I still didn't want to let go of this moment. I wanted to stay here with Kanai and hold on tight to every last second I could get, even if it was all a lie. "Don't cry, Akari," he pleaded. And I tried in that moment. I would have done anything for Kanai. The problem was that he'd asked for the one thing that I couldn't possibly grant. Wait, what do you mean? "Oh, don't cry." "Hey, Hoshina-senpai, wake up." Warily, I became aware that someone was shaking me by the shoulders. I cracked my eyes open and saw one of the younger girls from the swim team staring back at me as though I was causing a public disturbance to embarrass her. Well, he was a 5'8", 65 kg, had black square glasses, and a bowl cut. I wish that were me. I mean, I am 5'8". I mean, I'm 6 feet. I think I'm shorter than that, actually. Facts, kg, what the heck is a kilogram? We're back in Sotoshima. It's time to get off. "Okay," I mumbled drowsily. I thanked her for waking me and rose from my seat. I would often doze off on a ferry ride like this. The small undulations of the waves beneath the boat lulling me to sleep. I stepped off the boat and out of the harbor, then stretched out my arms and took in a deep breath. All around me were the sweet scents of spring. "Ichiro, stay away." I was a sophomore now, and advancing a grade level didn't mean my hectic schedule had gotten any easier, sadly. Every day remained a perilous balancing act between school, swimming, and work. But I did feel like I started to make progress. Slowly but surely, my grades were getting better. I had a pretty nice chunk of change saved up. My swimming career was similarly on the upswing. And that must be nice, having so much purpose in your life. So much drive and purpose. I don't really have that. Really long binoculars. Bucket cheese. Wait, he's outside to kind of shut me up. My teacher said I might even be able to apply for an athletic endorsement from the U of I, explaining that it was an alternate way for students who achieve great feats in specific sports to gain priority admission without enduring the rat race of traditional applications and public endorsements. First, based off someone. It is giving yandere. Almost. Imagine if Kanai had a girlfriend already. How would she react? Ooh. In my case, all I really needed to do to qualify was make it to nationals in swimming. The good news was that there was much less competition for those applying for athletic endorsements compared to general admission. I've seen UFE and her. Oh no. They usually came with a pretty hefty scholarship to boot. As someone whose family was strapped for cash to start, this was a pretty attractive option, so I reallocated some of my time and mental resources from studying to swimming, in order to compete at the national championship tournament. I first need to win big at the district preliminaries, which were held only once per year in the summer. As a sophomore, I had 2 chances left. I knew I'd have to push myself even harder than I already had been to make it there, but I was determined to claim that sweet scholarship money. It was taking me nearly 2 hours to read 30 pages. This is going to take me 5 hours for 80. I'm cooked. And again, Itra is unlocking me. I worked myself to the bone, getting my cross stroke time as low as I possibly could. I watched the numbers dwindle smaller and smaller, along with the amount of sleep I got each night. To be fair to myself, that was entirely due to me practicing all the time. It was largely because of my brother. Lately, my brother was bringing his friends back to the apartment about once every 3 days. Since my mom worked late into the night, he and 2 or 3 of his buddies would hang out in his bedroom, getting drunk and cracking jokes until the early hours of the morning. All night I was subjected to vulgar cackling, juvenile hooting and hollering, and unrepentant stomping. It was so loud that there was literally no escaping it. I tried to pull my comforter up all the way over my head to shut out the noise, but the walls of our apartment were so thin that their booming voices and howling laughter still made my eardrums throb painfully all through the night. Is that one meme? Like the Wojak? Wait, is it Wojak? I forgot what they're called. Covering like their ears with like their pillow, I think. Is it that one? It is Wojak. Being able to get to sleep I so desperately needed. Even for the first few hours my stressful schedule allowed was torture. As the night drew on and the sleep deprivation got worse and worse, I started to get so agitated and restless that I felt like I might go crazy. Always with their hands. Oof. Ugh, just shut up already. I curled up in a ball under the covers and tried my best to think about something more pleasant. Like how when I moved to Tokyo and saw Kanai. Okay, it's always Kanai. Kanai again. It might be nice for us to go somewhere fun together. Maybe an aquarium or an amusement park. I didn't really care where, honestly, as long as I could be with him. There were so many things I wanted to talk to him about too. I wondered if he'd join any clubs at his new school, what kind of friends he had, and whether he already found a girlfriend. Mocha W. What should I do if he had? The thought of him having a girlfriend who was way cuter and funnier than me made me sick to my stomach. But it would explain why he hadn't been in contact with me. Ugh, I hate this. I should just text him and ask, so I know for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But wait, what if he says yes? How will I even respond? Gah, okay, no. I need to stop letting my pessimistic imagination get carried away. I willed my brain to shut itself off so I could get what meager amount of sleep I could. Kill them Akari metaphorically? Oh no. A few months passed. Before I knew it, it was June. And the national preliminaries were right around the corner. Reckon you'd be different if you had a girlfriend? What do you mean by different? I'm obviously you mean personality, right? I'm trolling. As I'm trolling myself for even asking what you mean by different. I mean, I might be happier. Maybe. I have one more thing to look forward to in life. I'll be spending more time with them and spending less time with y'all. Maybe it'd be better for you to stay single. That's crazy. A few months passed before I knew it was June, and wait, I already read this. Wait, no I didn't. National preliminaries were right around the corner. I remember coming home one day after 11 at night, totally exhausted from practice and work. But before I hopped in the bath, I pulled my bank book out of my desk drawer and flipped it open. I glanced through the list of deposits to see what my savings were. We're really starting to add up. Once I deposited today's paycheck, my account would break the long-awaited million-yen barrier. That was more than a year's worth of living expenses already. I did feel a little bit miserly. Miserly? That's miserly, right? I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like I know what's gonna happen too. I'm gonna guess it's a debt paying, right? Paying debts. From the deadbeat brother. SL actually got VIP yesterday. But yep, I'm taking it away. Yeah, so go back to sleep. Thanks for reminding me, Ichiro. Oh, but about the girlfriend thing. Yeah, cause the people you spend with all the time, right? The closest people you spend with are the most frequent companions that you spend with in life. You start absorbing parts of them and they start becoming part of you, like your personality and everything. So I'm sure I'll change in that regard, right? Because the person you'll be spending time the most would be with your partner. Oh, thanks for the sub, SL. 18 months, wow. I haven't been to any of your streams. I'm still sub though. I haven't been to any of your streams at all. I'm telling my speech patterns. Thank you for the. Oh, no, what's your ideal type? Wait, I swear I haven't mentioned it much recently. Now back then I would always say similar humor, similar hobbies. I had one more. What was the third one? Similar humor, hobbies. Did I say personality? Was it really? I don't think it was personality, was it? I don't think so. Unless it wasn't, I've changed now. But yeah, mainly similar humor and hobbies, that's it. Snacks for Mofu. Let's go to my wallet. Wait, hold up. Focus on work, Mofu. You just... No, not personality. You just want a Lofi. Wait, what? I mean, isn't that what some people want? They just want another me, I guess. I don't know. But no, I've changed. I don't really care about personality. I mean, I do care about personality. I just don't care if it's similar personality. Well, that's me. I want another me. There's no way. I mean, that's fine. I have... What TSM's on? And be actively curious about them sucking the apple. I want someone who can beat me up. Oh lord. Give him your... Yeah. Someone will love me for who I am. I think that's a given. I think that's normal. No, but no, that's sweet though. But I mean, obviously that's what I think too. But I kind of assumed that was already the case. Mofu, no. Oh, someone's independent. Oh, I see. I am the police. Oh no. Floofy, preferably a cat. Yeah. Did we read this? Yeah, we did. Whoa, I cried out as I dropped my bank book on the floor in a start of panic. Whoa. Hey, Akadi. My buddies are coming over later, said my brother. Gonna need you to go out and buy some snacks for us. I couldn't believe it. The gall. The sheer audacity. He'd barge into my room without permission, without even so much as knocking. And now he was demanding I go play errand girl for him again. I wanted to scream. Who the heck did he think he was? Despite all this, I couldn't bring myself to talk back out of fear that he might start throwing stuff at me again. So I bit my lip and knelt down to pick up my bank book up off the floor. Once I returned it to my desk drawer, I grabbed my wallet and stomped out of the house without a word. Oh god, we are not finishing this chapter. Oh god, I need to focus on reading. Y'all are still unlocking me so much. We only read 13 pages. I'm cooked. Who can't cook, can't clean, can't wash, can't what? The mix 5-6 figures? LV Hasa. I see. Girl, wash sugar water. And be quick about it too, my brother yelled after me. I was seething. The last remark nearly pushed me over the edge. Still, I did as I was told. Went out and brought the stupid snacks my brother always told me to get, then came back to the apartment. My brother snatched the grocery bags out of my hands the second I came through the door, then immediately returned to his room without even a single word of thanks. No, don't do it. Late that night, right as I finished up my studying and was getting ready to crawl into bed, my brother's friends showed up at the house, almost as if they planned it that way just to prevent me from getting even a wink of shut-eye with their stupid, obnoxious antics. Only this night, they actually went a little bit further than that. Hey, you got a little sister, don't you, Akito? Akari-chan, right? Wonder if this is what you were thinking, and that I'm now starting to think? You are sick in the head, and this is a... And I'm praying it's not what's gonna happen. Say SL. Say how mid Sunday is. That wasn't what we were thinking. As one of my brother's friends, again, the walls are so thin that I could hear each and every word. Yeah, and? What about her? Is Genshin still worth playing? You sure I don't even play Genshin anymore? You should ask Estelle that though. What? Leave me alone, Mofu. No, Estelle. Stick with what you first thought. He is whatever. I mean, yeah, you can play Genshin with all the gacha. It might be a bit harder, but you definitely can. Dang, Mofu having conflicting opinions with their Pookie. That's wild. That's crazy. Oh, I just saw her around town the other day. She's gotten pretty cute, man. Is she over there in the room next door right now? Yo, I'm Arthur fisting. See how generous Wuwa is? No, Wuwa is not generous. You're just lucky. You make me so mad, Wolfu. You're getting every 5-star in like 10 pulls. There's no shot. Wuha is not generous. I hate Wuha. You're as bitter I am. My blood ran cold. My body seized up in primal terror. I felt an intangible evil gnawing its way into my chest, tracing its icy tongue along the contours of my heart. Facts Wander. Want to invite her to chill for a little while? Said his older friend. Hey, good idea. Go tell her to come over here and get wasted with us, Akito. Lord knows we could use some chicks around here. Dude, no, that sounds lame as hell. Ah, come on, man. Fine, I'll ask her myself. Hey, Akari-chan, you still awake over there? A burst of uproarious laughter came blaring through the walls from the room next door. Even my brother was laughing now. Meanwhile, all I could do was lie there petrified, shivering in fear with my head under the covers. I didn't even know what I could do if my brother came marching in here right now. The thought alone was so terrifying that I started sobbing into my pillow. Never in my life had I been more frightfully aware of the fact that there was no lock on my bedroom door. People stare. Wonder, why do you know that? Why do you know there's a Dojin Shia development, How would you know? Because frankly, I'm clueless, but it seems like you know a bit more. Interesting. I heard it from someone else? Someone else. Okay. We'll leave it at that. I'm kidding. I didn't get one wink of sleep that night. My brother and his friends didn't end up doing anything. But it was still the most harrowing, I swear it was harrowing, I'm gonna go crazy, harrowing experience of my life. I had reached my limit. As soon as my brother's friends went home in the early morning, I ventured out into the living room and confronted my brother head on. Alright, look, we need to talk, I said. Huh? What do you want? Actually, no, save it. I'm too tired right now, my brother yawned as he waltzed away towards his bedroom. His arrogant attitude was a straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, no. I had it up to here with you, I yelled, and he spun around in surprise at once. All you ever do is treat me like your personal slave and keep me up all night with your stupid partying. Please, Akito, this has to stop. I can't do it anymore. It was up to here. His cheeks twitched angrily. Quit blowing things out of proportion. We were just enjoying ourselves a little bit. Maybe you should invest in a pair of earplugs if it bothers you so goddamn much. You're not the boss of this house, so stop acting like it. That did it. Something snapped inside of me, and the floodgates burst open. I unleashed all of the fury and resentment I'd been holding back for more than a year now. Oh yeah? That's pretty rich coming from a mooching bum who isn't even trying to find a job. How long are you gonna keep milking that busted shoulder of yours as an excuse, huh? Until our mom works herself to death? Oh sheesh, oh god. My brother's eyes shot wide open, and his face flared beet red. The hell did you say to me? He pushed me down with such incredible force that I honestly thought he might have broken my sternum. My legs gave out and I fell backwards directly into the coffee table, where one of its unforgivingly pointed corners dug deep into the side of my lower back. I can't do these sounds. Soldier 11 is amazing, my favorite Pookie. A sharp pain ran through my hip. I couldn't move. I was stuck grunting helplessly on the floor as my entire body broke out in a profuse sweat. I tried a few times to straighten myself back up, but it only made the pain that much more unbearable. My brother clicked his tongue at me and walked out of the house. A while later, my mother finally got home from work. Akari, are you alright? What happened? She shrieked, letting her shoulder bag drop to the floor, and the dash over to help me. She rushed me to the small health clinic here on Soeshima, and from here, I was transferred to an actual hospital over on the mainland. I'll show you mid now because of Bernice. Bernice's anomaly. And Soldier 11 is an attacker. They do different things, so... yeah, different things. They have different roles, different teams. It's alright, my Pookie's still here. Anomaly better. Mofu? Tell me how many stars you complete in Shield Defense. The endgame content. Did you full clear it? I did, by the way, with Soldier 11. How goes you, That's right, get back to work. Brains looks cuter than Soldier. Oh. I hope you don't get her. I was diagnosed with a suspected transverse process fracture. Soldier Elephant. What the? Of one of my lumbar vertebrae. Essentially, I'd cracked a little protruding nub bone extending off from one side of an individual segment of my lower spine. When they showed me my waist area in the mirror, I saw a big, deep purple bruise, like someone had smushed a handful of blueberries against my lower back. The doctor told me that surgery wouldn't be necessary, and that there should be no further complications as long as I wore this funny corset-style back brace for a while, and took some time off to recuperate. The resulting hospital bill wasn't reasonable at all, and they discharged me that same day. The problem was that I really couldn't afford to take any time off right now. It would be 3 weeks before I could return to my part-time job, and 2 whole months before I was allowed to start swimming again. This meant that I had to completely give up the idea on making it to nationals this year, all while being forced to lie in bed like a cadaver. Oh, ice is not permanent. All I could do to cope with the despair of wasting one of my 2 remaining chances was weep softly into my pillow. What I truly wanted was to bawl and wail at the top of my lungs, and whenever I did more than gently sob, and the contractions of my diaphragm made it feel like long, rusty nails were being hammered into my spine. My only real remaining option was to try my very best to snuff out my emotions altogether. To stop feeling anything at all. If a brown bystander were to look at me, lying motionless in that bed, they'd probably think I was spacing out or something. But on the inside, I was crying out in agony from morning until late at night. How could all of my athletic efforts go to waste? I sacrificed all those work and study hours for nothing? What did I ever do to deserve this? What did I have to show for all of those grueling hours of practice I put in now? Nothing. I had one more chance to go to nationals, and it wouldn't be for a whole year. The thought alone was enough to put my stomach in knots. Making it worse, only a single person seemed to care I was going through this hell. My mother. Mother. She even took some precious time off work to take care of me and sat loyally at my bedside when I was in too much pain to even walk around the apartment on my own. Tell me something, Akari, she inquired one day while I was still bedridden. What really happened that morning? I had to think for a while about whether I should tell her the whole truth or not, because I knew it was extremely likely to break her heart. My mother worked just as hard as I'd been working, but for the family's sake and for far longer than me, she didn't deserve any extra stress on her plate. Recognizing that this was one thing I really shouldn't remain silent about, I decided to tell the truth even so. Mokotabu. Akito pushed me down, and I fell backwards and hit my tailbone on the coffee table, I confessed. I see, said my mother. I had a feeling it was something like that. Alright, thank you for being honest with me, and I'm so sorry I allowed such a thing to happen to you due to being an absentee parent. I'm such a horrible mother. No, Mom, it's not your fault at all. Please don't say that. Hey, Himiko, hope you're doing well. Well, rest assured, that I'll be speaking to Akito about this. I'll make it crystal clear to him that if anything like this ever happens again, he'll be out on the streets. She sounded like she really meant it. I knew that I could count on her, or at least that's how I felt at the time. Oh no. That night, as I was falling asleep, I heard her yelling over in the living room. Her voice raised to a volume she rarely, if ever, used. Curious, I decided to go and take a look at what was going on, taking care not to put any strain on my lower back. I hoisted myself up out of the bed and stepped out into the hallway. Then I crept up to the door to the living room, which was open just a crack, and peeked inside. My brother was sitting there, on the couch, while my mother berated him ruthlessly. It was obvious from her frantic yelling how little experience she had punishing her children like this, and yet my brother sat there completely unfazed by any of the words she was saying. If anything, he looked annoyed at how loud she was being, as if he couldn't wait for her to shut up. Then all of a sudden, he and I made eye contact. It was only for a split second, but that single glance was more than enough for him to convey to me that he was going to make me pay for this. Just you wait. Panicked, I slunk back into my bedroom to escape from his contemptuous gaze, already regretting my decision to tell my mother the truth. By the time I recovered enough to return to swim practice, our team had long since been eliminated from the district preliminaries, and all of the seniors on the team had already retired. My remaining teammates welcomed me back with open arms, asking me if I was healing up okay, and letting me know how much they'd miss me. Describe how angry I am. This is so sad. This is so much more sad than the tunnel to summer. That was just chill. Well, kind of. Their appreciation of me during what was undoubtedly. It's undoubtedly, right? Or is it undoubtedly? Or am I thinking of a different word when I say it? Am I mistaken of indubitably? Not undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Okay, undoubtedly sounds right. I'm locking in my answer. Undoubtedly. Yeah, indubitably is the other word. Okay. I get them mixed up. Don't they mean the same thing? It does mean the same thing. Why are there two words for it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you everyone. Indubidu. Just a silly pronunciation of it. Like corky. But that's actually how you pronounce it, right? Wait, it doesn't have a Google dictionary though, but it's on the Webster. Oh, whatever. Coinky doink. Oh gosh, I want to start saying that. This show over for me. Most challenging year of my life really did mean the world to me, and I couldn't help but tear up a little bit from how touched I felt. Coinky doinky. It almost made me feel really bad, because I'd been so laser focused on improving my lap times until this point, that I hadn't made much of an effort to build a connection with any of them. I decided that from this point on, I would go all my way to engage with them. Oh gosh. It's at that point of the book where this is like closing on itself, because there's so little pages left. I started talking with my teammates a lot more after that, giving pointers to the first year newbies and making small talk with the other girls whenever there was a break during practice. They were always extremely friendly to me. And whenever I was laughing with them, it allowed me to forget about all the painful aspects of my life for a while. It was probably the most fun I'd had since I entered high school. But it wouldn't last for long. About 2 weeks after I returned from recovery, I was using the pool restroom when two of my teammates walked in and started gossiping about me. They didn't realize I was right there in one of the stalls. Oh god, no. Some little words of one actually, yeah. So what do you think Koshina's deal is anyway? I said one of the girls. I don't know what's going through her head, but the way she's been acting is pretty rich if you ask me. What the heck? Right? Like, does she not realize that it was her stupid injury that screwed us out of going to nationals in the first place? And then she has the nerve to come smiling back like nothing even happened? It's unbelievable. Hey, you wanna know what I heard going through the grapevine? They're saying it was actually her brother that gave her that injury. Wait, seriously? Like, legit domestic violence? Yeah, apparently that guy's turned into a real piece of work lately. Super fragile ego, always asking his friends for money and then never paying it back. Beating his sister. Scumbag. Wow, what a piece of crap. And you know he's just wasting it all on booze too. How poor and trashy can one family be? I mean, Anna Sakai's been busting her ass trying to save up money to go to college, I guess, but really? What do you mean, but really? Oh no, I'm getting angry too. There's no way. Hey, don't speak so soon. You never know. Maybe she'll start begging us for money one of these days. And so the cycle of poverty continues. What? These kids are insane. Toshida though. Give me an example. Like give me an example of a doujinshi you've read that has this kind of development. Cause I am clueless on. I can't even name one doujinshi if I'm gonna be honest with you. No. I guess if we count all the what are they called? What's that thing called again? That really popular bullet hell with the insane music. I kinda forgot the name. Why am I forgetting the name? The bullet hell anime thing. Toho. Oh my gosh, that took me so long to remember. I kept thinking about Touken Ranbu, but like, wait, it's not Touken Ranbu. Toho. All the Toho manga are technically doujinshis, right? Is there fan manga? I don't know. Oh, there's one really popular one. Oh no. Haha, okay, but why do you feel like that might actually happen? I just sat there stunned for a while, long after the two girls exited the restroom. I couldn't even muster up the will to be angry. All I felt was an intense self-loathing. It was so humiliating to think I'd taken their kind words and well wishes at face value. Even believed them when they said they really missed me. I was a fool to think they actually cared. I started deliberately avoiding all my other teammates after that. Man. Thinking back on it now, this was probably where my deep-seated trust issues first began. Anytime I heard someone laughing by the poolside, I would automatically assume it was at my expense. And whenever any of the other girls came up and tried to talk to me, I went into defense mode and told myself they had some ulterior motives. They soon stopped trying to interact with me altogether, and I became a loner on the swim team once again. I need to hold a book like this because it keeps closing on itself. These trust issues soon started to rear their ugly heads in the classroom as well. While I generally spent most lunch periods face down on my desk, hoping to squeeze a nap in, I did try to socialize with my classmates a little bit before this debacle. After it, I talked to virtually no one and ate lunch by myself in silence. No matter where I went, I felt unwanted. Wait, I just realized what you meant by the really popular one. You were a sick wonder. There's the one freaking Fade mentioned in chat a while back. Did you write messages on her desk? I know that trope though. No matter where I went, I felt unwanted, like I didn't belong. The only place where I did find some solace was up on the school roof. Whenever it felt like I couldn't take being surrounded by these people during lunch, I'd walk out of the classroom and go kill time on the upper landing of the stairwell, where the roof access door was. Once I learned a trick to opening that door, I went out onto the rooftop and spent my lunches up there more and more often. I couldn't tell you why, but something about being up there just calmed me down completely. It was the only place I felt like I could breathe. It was like the entire island of Tsushima was a sunken city, and this was the only place high enough for me to poke my head up out of the water and get some fresh oxygen in my lungs. It's a lack of people. The reason being why the rooftop is, yeah, probably. Whenever I looked down from up there, I felt like the same exact thing. I need to get off this island, and fast. Then without fail, the warning bell for the 5th period would ring, and I'd sink back beneath the waves again, forced to hold my breath for yet another day. After my lower back injury, my brother eased off on all of his demanding and disruptive tendencies for a while. He stopped bringing his friends over to the house, and he didn't order me around like I was his maidservant. Oh, really? Unfortunately, this new leaf of his didn't last for long. By the fall of my sophomore year, his worst behaviors had come back with a vengeance. He was now being even more belligerent and obnoxious, partying even later into the night, constantly waking up hungover and in a foul mood, barking insults and throwing things at me again. On particularly bad days, he'd even punch me in the shoulder or lift his leg up and slam his foot into the small of my back. He seemed to feel no remorse whatsoever for having fractured one of my bones. If anything, injuring me had only emboldened him, and made him felt like he could get away with anything. Honestly, I agree. I'm glad I'm kidding. Okay, no. Murder is not the answer. We need to tell the mom again, we need to tell authorities, there's gotta be another way. I didn't have the willpower to fight back anymore either. I always apologized and acted like nothing happened. My mother would yell at him just about any time they were in the same room, but this only made things worse. As he would then proceed to take his frustration from being scolded out onto me with more physical abuse. My life was a living hell, and yet no matter how hard things got, I knew I couldn't afford to rest even 1 minute. I had to pour all my time and energy into my studies, my swimming, and my job, so that once I graduated, I could get away from this godforsaken place once and for all. That was the one thought I found reassurance in, that this would all end when I made it out of high school. Moving to Tokyo to be with Kanai again was my one and only glimmer of hope through the darkest days of my young life. Still, by completely snuffing out any sense of self-worth I might have had, I narrowly managed to make it through each day. It got to the point where I was completely happy trimming off a few years from my lifespan if it meant a better life in Tokyo down the line. She's actually hitting up. Honestly, with this kind of environment in her childhood, I'm not. It feels somewhat reasonable. And so I worked myself to the bone, praying that the worst of it would soon be over. I resolved not to let any obstacle or hardship get me down again, no matter how crushing. But today, on April 1st, in the middle of spring break before my senior year, and the same day Kanai came back to Tsushima for the first time in years, Bothersome? Today was the day the world found a way to rip my heart in two and break my spirit completely. Wait, really? What happened? I had to work until 3 in the afternoon today. Usually, I worked a full shift on the weekends, but the inn was closed tomorrow. Like the instant she saw Kanai again? Oh. Huh. No, wait. Okay, we'll see. I mean, I feel like that would make sense too, but really? I went home, unlocked the door, and stepped into our apartment. I then headed down the hallway to my room, but noticed something was amiss the second I entered. My desk drawer was hanging open ever so slightly. There you only call the money. I'd always been very particular about closing it. And she's like, oh, maybe. Oh, you're right. I can't be using a evil like that. That's messed up. But it's very fitting. So it struck me as pretty strange. I shrugged it off and walked over to close it nonetheless. Right as I was about to do so, I peeked inside and my hands froze. Both my bank book and the signature authorization stamp were gone. What the? Yeah, F word. Dang. You're really saying the F word raw like that. I guess you're not saying the number 1 bad F word. You're saying the number 2 bad F word, so that's fine. I stood there for a while, inert. Reflecting on it now, it was something of a calm before the storm. This is what I was expecting? Okay, I don't know why I was dumb. I was thinking that because he racked up so much debt, and you know they got like loan sharks after them. Akari would have to use their own money to save their own family. But I guess he stooped lower than that. I stood there for a while. Wait, but then finally came the lightning crash. I yanked open every other drawer in my desk, then slammed them all shut, finding nothing in there. I proceeded to rifle through my dresser, looked under my bed, and reached around inside my purse like a thief gone mad. My bank book was nowhere to be found. What was I supposed to do now? If someone broke in and stole it, and they had my identification stamp, they could drain my whole account. And then I wouldn't have enough money to. I wanted to start bawling loudly. Right then and there, I held it in somehow and racked my brain as hard as I could. If a burglar had actually stolen it, there should have been evidence of a break-in, right? The apartment looked fine on the whole, and the front door was definitely locked, which meant it must have been either my mother or my brother, and I had a bad feeling I knew which of those two it probably was. I pulled out my cell phone to call Akito, hands trembling. My finger paused a millimeter above the dial button. What if? And this was a pretty big if, but if I was wrong, and it hadn't been my brother. Hear me out. It's Kanai. Kanai time looped back and took the bank book and stuff to keep it safe. Was I prepared for the wrath that might ensue from an accusation like that? No. Honestly, I don't see a reason why they would do that. But hey, it could be. He would do far, far worse than just kick me. There was no doubt about that. The thought scared me enough that I chickened out on making the phone call. As I stood there at a loss of what to do, a thought occurred to me. What if it hadn't been stolen at all? What if my mom needed to borrow a little money or needed my account information for some business at the bank? There were several possible explanations that didn't involve losing every last bit of my savings, and this thought calmed me greatly. Oh no. Maybe I was fooling myself, but I had to focus on these slim possibilities so that I wouldn't vomit then and there. I was determined not to look reality in the eye. I knew I probably wouldn't be able to get much studying done while this remained an open question in my head, but I couldn't stand sitting around to do nothing either. I ran out of the house. I ran frantically around town as fast as I could, hoping the rush of adrenaline would somehow shake the anxiety from my mind. Less than 30 minutes later, I was officially winded, and my limbs were like jelly, so I sat down on a seawall to catch my breath. I spun around and looked around the ocean as I waited for my heartbeat to stabilize. The hazy silhouette of the mainland felt much farther now than ever before. I might have lost my one chance to move to Tokyo, I thought to myself, and then the tears came streaming down. You became the main character of this. Honestly, yeah, I'm. This is a really interesting way to tell the story. I like it. Like, Kanai going back in time in every chapter, and Akari going forwards in time, talking about her childhood. This is an interlude, yes. It's still part of the interlude. From her childhood up to this point, I guess, to April 1st. So, because I think that all the interludes are in her perspective, right? I feel like maybe the first one was in Kanai's perspective. No, I think all of them were in Akai's perspective. I heard a voice call out to me, so I turned around and saw him. Kanai was right in front of me, not in a dream, but in the real world. He was here in the flesh, and only an arm's length away. Akari? Kanai-kun? This unexpected reunion caught me so off guard that when I stood up, yeah, I nearly fell backwards into the ocean. Truthfully, I didn't, and it was because Kanai was there to catch me. He and I then went on to have a whole little dialogue, during which I did my very best to act like nothing was wrong. I didn't want to ruin our long-awaited reunion by talking about how my lost bank book, or my abusive brother, or anything remotely depressing. Thankfully I didn't. Weirdly enough, the more I talked to him, the less it felt like I was acting. After a while, I was generally enjoying myself again. Oh man, that first meeting is so much more wholesome now. What the heck? It was as if hearing his voice was slowly refilling my cold, empty, desiccated? I've actually never seen this word before. Desiccated heart with warm waters that soothed my soul. When he revealed that I did not, in fact, have a girlfriend back in Tokyo at the moment, I breathed a sigh of relief that I nearly fell to my knees right in front of him. Have you decided what college you're going to next year? I can't believe I thought Kanai was like the weird one and the down bad one and not Akari. Because of that freaking thigh comment Kanai made. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, Akari is so down bad. Haven't desiccated, no. I haven't seen this word before. Desiccated. Definition. Having had all of the moisture removed. Dried out. Lacking vitality or interest. Huh. Is it even desiccated? Well, hopefully it is. Yeah, you have I, he replied. But you knew that already. It was exactly the response I expected. But it was nice to fully confirm that I would need to move to Tokyo if I wanted to be with him again. That settled it. It was time for me to stop moping around and tackle my problems head on. I said goodbye to Kanai and then headed back home. Oh no, and he's gonna confront the brother and... As soon as I arrived, I pulled out my cell phone and called my brother that very instant. I feared if I waited any longer, I might lose my nerve again, and I had to know where my bank book was. Wait, how many? Oh! Spoiler for the image. Okay, 4 more pages. Oh, I can go to sleep. I thought it was gonna be a short stream, but I got sunlocked so long by Ichiro. He didn't pick up, which knocked some of my wind out of my sails. Still, I wasn't going to give up that easily, so I continued. I planted myself on the living room couch and stayed there until my brother came back home. When did he come back home though? When he returned to the apartment at long last, it was around 9 o'clock at night. Mustering up all the courage I could find, I stood up and confronted him. He's fluent in Japanese, oh no. You're right, Ichiro is fluent in Japanese. Hey, Akito, you wouldn't happen to have my bank book, would you? I asked, trying not to sound too overly accusatory. Accusatory? He shot me a dirty look, then pulled both my bank book and my authorization stamp out of his coat pocket and handed them to me. So it was him, I thought to myself. Momentarily relieved that he'd fessed up and easily returned it, then I flipped the bank book open and couldn't believe my eyes. After a single withdrawal, my savings balance had gone from 1 million yen all the way down to a mere 1,200. Okay, let me see how bad that is. 1 million yen to USD is $6,700 to $8. Okay, that's crazy. Ooh, in a single day? What did he do? I stood there looking down at the numbers in abject horror as all of the blood drained from my face. What have you done? I asked, my voice shook in disbelief. My brother spat, as though he accidentally swallowed a fly. I just borrowed a little money, that's all. Dinged some dude's car the other day, and he forced me to pay for the repairs. Turns out he's actually a big shot gangster, so I didn't really have a choice. My mouth hung wide open. I was at a complete loss for words, and yet somehow, the worst was yet to come. Come on, don't be like that, he went on. You and I both know that you probably weren't going to get into that college anyhow. Besides, if you're really that dead set on moving to Tokyo, why not get a job at a strip club or something? Plenty of them over there. A strip club? Oh god. This is... No, I'm pretty mad too. But oh, but one, I still need to tell you to calm down. I'm mad too. Tell me this ain't a... I don't know. I don't know the stories of... or the tropes in doujinshis. But why do you know? Yeah, or a hostess bar or something. I don't know. Anyway, hey, I was gonna head over to the bar real quick. Could you lend me 500? I know you got at least that much left in your wallet. Someone else told me about it? That's crazy. I honestly, I can't tell you if this is or not, but this kind of development, I don't know about doujinshi, but I can see it happening in manga, right? It's just a someone's history being like a deadbeat father using your money or whatever. Though I can't name any. Never before in my life had I known that when your anger surpasses a certain threshold, your blood, quite literally, runs cold. It was like one of those science experiments I'd seen on TV, was being recreated inside my head. That one where they dip a rose petal into a vat of liquid nitrogen, then pull it out, squeeze it, and it shatters into a million pieces. That pretty much exemplified what happened to my sense of reason in that instant. I can't do this justice. Graw! I wailed, grabbed my brother by the collar with both hands. How? How could you do such a thing? Why do you have to ruin my life at every possible opportunity? Hey, let go of me. Do you know how hard I had to work to save all that money? I worked myself half to death, but you wouldn't know a thing about that, would you? You don't know the first thing about me. I said get off me. My brother ripped off my hands from his collars and pushed me away. I fell backwards, my back slamming hard against the floor. A singeing pain shot through my spine. Why is Luffy growling? Oh, it's a story. I'm getting into it. By growling, he's whispering. I can't actually yell because my parents are asleep. It's not like you know anything about me either, my brother yelled as I laid there, grunting in agony. The world's taken everything from me. My dad, baseball, everything I ever loved. I never did anything to deserve that, so why shouldn't I get to take a few things back in return? Isn't it only fair? Why are you asking me? You're not the only one who lost their father here, you know? Just because you can't play baseball anymore, that doesn't give you the right to steal other people's hard-earned money. Don't lecture me, you little brat. My brother clenched his fist and moved in closer. I looked at him, towering over me, and saw no trace of sanity left in those eyes. A chill ran through my entire body. I scrambled in vain to get away, crawling backwards along the floor, and then heard my cell phone vibrate on the floor beside me. It must have fallen out of my pocket. Oh, there's no shot. There's no shot. Wonder is right every single time. Fall out of my pocket when I hit the ground. The screen displayed a caller's name, Kanai. I grabbed the phone without a second thought and answered as fast as I could. Kanai, you gotta help me, I cried. Oh! Kanai-kun, you've gotta help me, I cried. Hey, who said you could answer that? Give it here, my brother barked, snatching the phone out of my hands and ending the call. Oh, you're right. No, I was thinking that... Oh yeah, I'll say afterwards. Give it here, my brother barked, snatching the phone out of my hands and ending the call. Damn you, trying to get me in trouble. He threw the phone on the ground, then pointed one finger straight at me. You're never getting off this island, you hear me? So just shut up and do as I say like a good girl. He hissed, his spittle spraying out across my face. He stormed out of the apartment without another word. As soon as he was gone, I broke into an uncontrollable bawl. Right there on the ground, as if I finally been broken beyond repair.